And we're back for another episode of Chirp Hockey, episode number three, and we got some guests beside us here, Eric Andersen and Ronnie Vogel. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough about these guys. Holy smokes.
Well, definitely, you can definitely tell that COVID helped us out with the flights. I mean, we're just starting out, and then all of a sudden, $49, you get them here in a weekend, and now they're ready to go. So, it's definitely a good time, and I'm really excited to have you guys on the show.
Can we just...
Hey, no place we'd rather be,
this is
than
it.
here.
This is a spot. Can we just notice that Donnie still got his whistle on, though, from practice today?
Well, anyways, let's get...
So we're talking about Ronnie Vogel and Eric Andersen. Let's start with Ronnie. I skimmed over your hockey DB for just a little bit, and it seems like you had a pretty good career. I know you started in the OHL with Windsor Spitfire. But can you tell us a little bit about your career and kind of how you got and landed in the DFW area and where you started and how that all happened?
It's very interesting, to say the least. I've had the pleasure of playing many places and all that. And then when it came to coming to DFW, I signed a contract to play for the Fort Worth Brahmas. About 2 months after I signed the contract, they asked me to be the assistant coach.
Did you win a championship with him?
I did.
As
a coach.
Okay.
Yeah, because what happened was Ronnie was playing and he went 0-4, and they said, "Hey, listen, we signed it to a good tender contract guarantee. If we're going to win a championship, we got to change
coach
clothes."
than I was a player. How about that? No, it was all good, and then a couple years, you grind it through the coaching aspect, and then you get involved with youth hockey, and that's where my life, that's where my journey took me. Yeah. Youth hockey was a passion of mine, and growing the sport, and especially in Texas. But to go back a couple steps, further, it's when I was in Windsor, my coach left Windsor and decided to coach the Texas Tornadoes, the first junior team in South Texas. And
who they were a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah, Tony Curtali was the coach.
Oh, you had Curtali as a coach.
Yes. Tony Curtali, he's my coach in Windsor, left there and recruited me to Tornado. And we were the first junior team in Texas, and we had what a great year. What a great run he had.
That was like a full circle, too, because didn't you guys start out in NITEX?
Yes.
That was where the Tornado first played, was in NITEX, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So we our first job, like when you came here as a player, you dug the trenches for the brine pipes. And
a lot of good goalies went through that, didn't they?
A lot of good goalies. But we were digging brine trenches the first week we showed up. It's like, hey, we got to help get the rink up and running.
So what did you think? I mean, you came from London, Ontario, correct?
Yeah, played in Windsor.
And then coming to Texas. I mean, I remember my first time in Texas. I know I went on the first episode and talked about tumbleweeds and all this dry land. What did you think of Texas?
I was nervous as anything coming from London.
And it was your first time away from your mom. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, okay. I wasn't.
She's definitely, she was sad.
How do we put this politely? But I wasn't. The cord was cut.
Yeah.
So it was fine. I was in Windsor for 3 years. Came down to Texas, and the Tornadoes came about. And our ownership group was fantastic. There was only 9 teams in the league at that time. So we had to fly. He flew us everywhere, flew every team in to play us. And it was a great experience. It was fantastic. And it actually, that was the start of junior hockey in Texas.
Did you ever think you were going to end up here, like staying here for the rest of your life?
I'm
not going to say you're staying here for the rest of your life, but so far you've been here. Did you ever think that you did?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Once you got a taste of Texas, and no offense to anybody that hasn't been here, but I love Texas. It was my goal to get back here.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Did you leave after you played for the Tornado?
I did. Yeah, I left, and I was fortunate enough to get a little cup of tea with Detroit Red Wings, and
No big deal. Had to throw
Had to throw that
Little
in.
cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a cup of coffee. It was a cup of tea. It wasn't long enough to say it was a cup of coffee.
You had more than a sip, and maybe just a little bit.
Yes. But I bounced around the minors for a while and over in Europe. And when it came down to it, it was Texas. Me and my wife.
Hold on a sec. Let's talk about the wife a little bit because I was and I love Dre to death. I mean, she's great. And so I had the opportunity to play with Ronnie in 2003, 2004 Rockford Ice Hogs. It was a great year, one of my favorite years of my pro career. And a little story, I mean, just real quickly, we'd all go out to this bar called Swilligans. And we wouldn't see Ronnie around. We're like, where's Ronnie? Paul was running Swilligans, and the whole team was there, and we couldn't find Ronnie all the time. Well, sure enough, they couldn't find Dre. Dre worked in the front office, right? I mean, it was very, very quiet, right? Nobody knew.
It was frowned upon.
It was frowned upon because the office staff couldn't hang out with the players, right? That's how it was back in the day. They wanted very professional, and we just couldn't find Ronnie for like a week. And Dre took a week off vacation. So can you just can you just tell us a little bit about how you met your wife and what you do now?
If we want to circle back to that.
Yeah, I'd like to circle back.
Because I didn't meet my wife until after Donnie met her, like 5 times. Because Donnie's in the front office. Donnie's like, hey, what kind of merch can you get me? What kind of this can you get me? I need to send this back home. Yeah, he's
looking for tickets.
Working deals back home and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And Donnie she was like, hey, Donnie comes in the office. It's great because he's going to send home, he's sending home like $500 worth of apparel to the family back in Canada. Like, we were really fortunate. It was a blessing in disguise, right? We made that connection. And actually, after we played together, Donnie, I went over to Europe, played a year, and then I came back and played for Rockford.
Again.
And she finally had to tell the front office staff, like her boss, that she was in a relationship. But no, we had a great time. Yeah. And I got some stories about Donnie if we ever want to get into that.
Let's get back to that because
but we got Eric here too.
Yeah,
I don't want to take up all the time.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that because I do want to hear some of the stories because you guys played together. Now we also have Eric Andersen, your hockey DB. It shows that I don't know, was it?
It shows he was 219 pounds. I think he got a good agent. You know what I mean? 219. Go ahead.
Well,
Johnny.
no, I don't know what year was it that you first started playing pro?
I don't know. Donnie will tell us.
What year was it?
He played for the Warhogs here. I don't even know what the Warhogs
what year
were.
was it though?
1998.
Were you just bouncing around a lot or what?
Just trying to find my way. I feel fortunate that I got to play pro hockey. So that's
Eric. See, I don't even want to chirp Eric because he has that demeanor where I just feel really bad, and he just kind of gives me a somber answer, and I'm just like.
To all your kids listening out there, if something doesn't go your way, you have 2 choices, and that's what Eric's trying to tell you. He continued to pursue his passion for the game of hockey. And Johnny, listen, nobody wanted you, and you quit, so that was good. Okay, so let me tell you, Eric went the other way. He had 5 different suitcases, 5 different teams, and he finally.
Well, I was about to say by the fifth time, did you just not pack your suitcase? You're just I'm just going to leave it packed because I might be.
No, I just it's tough. These guys know that if you play pro hockey, it's tough. There's different situations and.
See, that's the answer I'm talking about. Now I don't want to chirp him the rest of the time because
we're not going to chirp. We're going to get to know Eric tonight. So Eric,
I'm just messing around. But tell us kind of how it started, where you're from, and then how you ended up in Amarillo, Texas.
Well, I grew up.
And we have big plans. Well, I don't have big plans, but you guys have some amazing plans, some big news, and we'll get into that. But I want you to touch on that about the ice ranch.
Oh,
But
definitely.
Tell us how you got there. Your journey, just a quick little, snippet of that, and then what's going on in Amarillo.
just a quick cup of tea, as Ronnie would say.
We'll do a cup of coffee on this one. Yeah.
There we go.
So Donnie thinks I grew up in Swan River, which is incorrect. I was born in Swan River. I grew up in Winnipeg, played youth hockey in Winnipeg, played junior hockey in Winnipeg, and then went to Bemidji State, played college hockey there. I was there for a couple of years and then got a taste of wanting to play pro hockey. And then the 5 teams, like we talked about. Just kept grinding out, and then found a job, played a few years in Amarillo, went and played in New York, played my last few years in Amarillo, and then became a fireman, started coaching youth hockey. My kids are all involved. Got
What
to meet
was
all
it-
these great guys.
What was it about Amarillo that made you stay?
Oh, it's a lot like where I grew up. Not as cold. Winnipeg's pretty cold. So Amarillo is just
Portage and Maine.
Portage and Maine.
Coldest
Windiest
intersection.
corner in North America, I think I said.
It is.
No, Amarillo's just, it's great. It's a small town and a big town at the same time. So we've got enough people there and enough things to do, but it's a small town atmosphere, and I really like that. The people are great. They're very welcoming. Love Amarillo.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the ice ranch.
So this started, I don't know the exact date, but I think we've been in construction, Sutsy, 6, 7 months, 8 months?
And just by the way, Sutsy's in the crowd tonight.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
So real
we
quick,
got a celebrity here.
we have an amazing crowd tonight. We got about 9 people in here. Can we get a round of applause here for the people that are in here? And we'll be bringing Sudsy up in a minute so he can talk.
We
more
also
about
have the
this
owner
too.
of Spectra. You ever heard of Spectra? Me either. I know he hasn't worked in a while, but I mean, if anybody out there needs a Spectra, he's here tonight. And
Needs a Spectra. Okay, so the
I know
ice
what it
ranch.
is.
The ice ranch.
So if you guys know anything about Amarillo, we haven't had year-round ice. I've been in Amarillo since 98, whatever Donnie said on there. So 20-something years, we haven't had year-round ice. We have the Civic Center, which is open for about 6 months of the year, however long the pro or junior hockey season is. So our youth program has always been craving, and our figure skating and just people skating have been craving year-round ice, which you guys have here with the mall. And so just imagine you didn't have the mall. You just had the Coliseum during the winter. That's what we're like. So it's tough for our kids in the spring and the summer.
So did you guys do a lot of off ice training in the summer?
Yeah.
Do you have a spot for that?
Not a laid down spot. We kind of go all over. We use different parks, schools, all that type of stuff, football fields, people's houses, whatever. So we've been craving that year-round ice. So now we're at the point where we're going to get that. So we're pretty excited.
And what's the timeline like right now for completion?
We're probably within a month or so of getting ready to go.
I've heard some good things.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things, but at the same time, I want to say, if it wasn't for Austin Sutter and Eric Andersen here on a serious note, I mean, those are the guys that built the Amarillo Hockey Association. I mean, I give hats off to you guys. It's been great working with you guys for a very long time. I know that the DSTHL league, they're very grateful to have us in the league, and it just takes guys like you to take the hockey to the next level and actually teach life lessons. And it's been a pleasure working with you for the last few years. And I know we've go back and, like in history, but it's a lot different being on the outside looking in, right? Like you got Ronnie over there. He's with the Brahmas for years, and they got people, scrounging and they're always in like competition. Where us, we just want to have a team so we can teach these games a game of hockey. I mean, all these players a game of hockey. So what would you say that we do different in Amarillo and Odessa, because we're similar, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have pretty similar programs.
So what would you say that makes our program like one of the best programs to be involved in, I'd say? Like the people, right? Like I always talk to people from Dallas. We have a lot of people from Dallas here this weekend, and they're practicing with us. But I feel that we have a family community. Everybody hops on board. Everybody knows each other. We make everybody feel welcomed. How did you guys get involved in hockey, and what's your passion like? What's your goal in Amarillo, Texas?
For hockey,
Yes.
like in the future?
Yeah.
Well, I think we want to.
As far as building a program goes.
Well, I think we're already showing that with, the Squirts this year. You guys winning that championship. We've always been able to compete as programs down in the DFW, because obviously there's more kids to choose from.
Right.
We've always been able to compete, but we want to continually try to win and be at the top of the standings. I think we're getting there. It's helped with combining our programs a little bit,
Right.
but we want to just continue to keep recruiting athletes and getting it out there that hockey's a thing. Because West Texas, we all know it's a football, baseball type of atmosphere. You know what I mean? And hockey's starting to creep into that, and that's my goal with Amarillo. We have 200,000 or 300,000 people there. I want everybody in town to know that we have youth hockey in Amarillo.
That's good.
Because there's days or weeks when I walk or talk to somebody in the community and they didn't know we had youth
They have
hockey.
no idea.
What I love about you guys is you guys go to the grassroots.
Yeah, that's
because
what it's
you
about.
have to build from
Yeah.
the grassroots up,
Yeah,
from the coaching staff, the commitment level from the parents. It's a grassroots model. right
absolutely.
and you guys really do a great job.
And the good thing is we're all together, right? We're within 5 hours of each other. We're putting a team together next weekend to go to Austin. You know, it's a good opportunity. We get to hang out. Orange Solo Cup tonight, you know, a little bit. But
Halloween cups.
they are Halloween cups because somebody already took red Solo Cup. So
Can you talk into the mic, please? My
Me?
gosh.
My bad.
It's like, no, not you, Donnie. It's like he's looking at the dartboard.
Oh, you're
over
talking
there.
to me?
Goodness gracious. So you think that the ice ranch is going to...
Holy shit, Johnny, really? You're going to go ahead and spit that one
And
out?
there's
or
our
what?
first swear word. I'll be putting a bleep in that one. So do you think the ice ranch is, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how much do you think that's going to bump up the youth hockey?
Oh,
in Amarillo?
15, man. It's going to be unbelievable. Our membership and our community are just craving this, and we're dying for it.
And you guys are going to have, like, public session and parties
Everything.
and all that.
Obviously, our youth hockey program and our figure skating and our adult leagues,
That comes first?
well, they're going to take up a lot of the ice time.
Yeah.
But there's going to be daily public skates, open drop-ins, birthday parties, everything. We've never had the opportunity to do all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be 12 months out of the year. So
That's awesome.
we're super excited. Yeah, the sky's the limit.
That's
I have a feeling in a couple of years we'll probably be building another one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
I wish we could get that
That's a
down
bold
here.
statement, but I firmly believe it.
Wow. Well, we'll talk more about this when we get Sudsy up here because I know he's got a
Yeah,
mouth.
he's better at that than me.
Well, he's been a big part in that, so we'll talk about that. But as far as, I mean,
We got to get Sudsy a hat to wear tonight, though. He can't come on until he puts a hat on me.
did you not? Yeah, Sudsy, did you not know we had lights up in here? There's going to be some serious reflection going on.
He's got a hat.
Oh, he's got the sponsor of the show. He just got the sponsor of the show hat.
Hey, good segue here. We actually have a sponsor today.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Who'd
yeah.
you guys decide on?
Our sponsor today is Rhino Linings and Truck Accessories of Midland. Okay,
And they're
that's
in
our
the crowd
sponsor
tonight.
They are in the crowd today. So Rhino Linings of Midland, they can do absolutely anything you need for accessories for your car or your truck, your vehicle, off-road, the spray for your bed
Bed
liners,
truck. Yeah.
toolboxes.
You're thinking of bed already, but bedliners. I know it's late.
Toolboxes, grill guards, anything you want. I mean, they have it all. They're amazing. They'll get you in, they'll get you out. They take care of you. They stand by their work. Phenomenal people up there. And in the description, I will leave their phone number and their email address, and you can get a hold of them for anything you need, whether it's for a company or for personal use. They got you covered. Rhino Linings, Truck Accessories in Midland. They're awesome. So
Thank you, Rhino
we
Linings.
appreciate them. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Steve. But let's get back to, you guys were all in the Dallas Stars Youth Hockey League this year. Let's just kind of touch a little bit on that, how that year went for you guys. Ronnie was with the Tigers. You guys with Amarillo and Odessa combined a team for the West Texas Selects. Yeah. So who wants to kind of take that? And
Well, we beat Ronnie when it counted. I know that.
Oh,
We did, Ronnie. We had a good Friday. We shit the bed on, Saturday and Sunday.
well, that happens, right? That happens.
But it was nice.
You gotta get done what you need to get done.
Yeah, it was nice.
But the best thing about Texas hockey is it's growing, like in all aspects. It's growing from Metroplex, from Dallas Fort Worth, all the way to Amarillo, Odessa, El Paso, right?
Yeah.
So our main goal is to grow the sport and grow the love of the sport, and that's what we take pride in. It doesn't matter if you might not be, a 20-0 team, but you're middle of the pack kind of guys. But it's growing the sport. It's teaching the kids what they need to learn, both about the game and about life. And that's a fun part about coaching hockey. I think hockey offers a great, how do you say it?
Life lessons?
Yes.
Tons of life
Thank you.
lessons around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And kids carry that on, and the friendships and the camaraderie and everything that goes with the sport.
Yep.
And that's why we love the sport.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're totally engaged in the sport.
Well, I talked
Top to
about this
bottom.
last time. Is I mentioned that you guys, help run programs, and you guys are coaches, and I said you guys have kids, so that helps. But I really feel like the way you guys coach and the way you guys teach, like I feel like if you guys didn't have kids, you guys would still be involved in youth hockey. And I don't want to, speak out of place, but I really do feel like that. The way you guys coach, you guys are always there. You're always taking care of kids. not just your own. You act like every kid is your own. I feel like you guys have really done a great job of building the program that you're with, whoever it might be. And, I revert back to me being in youth hockey and, having Donnie as a coach for a little bit and some other guys around this area, and then moving off and playing junior. And I remember that stuff, I'll never forget that stuff. And I don't think these kids are ever going to forget that either. So it's amazing what you guys are doing. And I guess kind of going to you guys head coached together this year. How was that? How was
Donnie was a head coach. I was just the assistant coach.
was that how it was on paper?
Yeah.
Who carried the water bottles in?
I ran the forwards.
The kids did. I carried the pucks, though.
You know what the good thing was? We both have 2 kids on the team. And, I'd be hard on my kids a little bit because obviously you're always hard on your own kids. And, Eric kind of took him under the wing. And then when his kids, needed some guidance. So we worked really, really well together, I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought our kids benefited from that. We had structured coaches on the bench. And just like you said, Ronnie, life lessons, right? I mean, it's all about listening, learning, learning from mistakes. And they have a choice. They can either learn from a mistake and move on, or they don't. And I know some kids, it's just like math, like I said in the first introduction, is that some kids get it early, some kids get it late. But the biggest thing about our organization is...
Why do you always go back to this math thing?
Because...
Were you bad at math?
Johnny.
Were you bad at math?
Maybe.
He always
maybe.
talks about
He
math.
was a
He
junior
brings it back
hockey
to
player,
math.
so...
Spelling, math, whatever you want to say. Okay.
No, it takes...
I didn't go to college, Johnny, and everything
It takes
good.
practice
Just like
and
you, Johnny.
repetitions.
You drank like you went to college.
I did.
It does. It
I
takes
made my own
practice
college.
and repetitions
I made my own college.
to master skill.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's the same things we teach the kids on the ice.
Right.
You practice the
Johnny,
right
are you
way.
sweating?
No, I'm not sweating.
Your eyebrow's sweating. Holy shit, that's a big eyebrow. Let me tell you.
I had a great point here, but now
Seriously.
Keep going, Ronnie.
Sorry,
Keep
Ronnie.
going.
Listen, the guy's looking
I was
at
listening
me,
to you, Ronnie.
and I can't even see the guy because his
Well, I think-
eyebrow's hanging over his eye. But go ahead, Ronnie.
Andy,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Before Donnie
like-
rudely interrupted you, can you please explain?
just
what
like
said?
you practice on the ice. You want to practice in the classroom, and to master mathematics or
Thank you, Ronnie. I
to
appreciate it.
master
You go with the mathematics.
They never
again.
offered math when Johnny went to school. Okay, that's the problem.
I was
Well,
So-
when you master
Go on.
like the times table, the kids have to put in a lot of work to master that.
Yeah.
And it's just like hockey. It's just like the time and effort that you have to put, and that's all about preparation and about being the best student, being the best athlete you can be, and that's what hockey is all about.
Absolutely. We talk about that in practice where, some of the drills will be monotonous, but these drills are designed and explained for game type situations. So the more, it's a lot like our other profession, firefighting. You do the basics over and over and over. That way when you're in a game, it's a tight spot, the parents are all yelling at you,
Read and react, and
you're able to accomplish that no problem because you've done it 1,000 times in practice.
Yes.
I'm here, I'm doing this exactly the way I thought.
Repetition.
And-
Instead of just being out there, oh my gosh, I've never done this before, and it's all on the line. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on a kid.
No.
You want them to have those reps over and over and over.
Exactly.
Where do you guys draw the line from having fun, and this it's just a game, it should be fun, to your parents are putting money into this is elite level hockey, and you're kind of grinding it? Where is that?
That's a great question.
Where is that line? Because me being a skills coach or whatever, I do private lessons, power skating. I always feel like I kind of go back and forth from how hard do I push this kid? How hard do I, grind it into him? And then where do I kind of back off and go, you know what, it's just a game, let him have fun. And I know it's a little different for me because these, they bring them out and I do these one-on-one lessons or, semi-private lessons. But for you guys teaching a full team, 15, 16, 17 skaters, do you guys ever have to battle that, with?
Well, I know in our program and our combined programs, the 2 words we use all the time are effort and attitude. So, the kids and the families are putting an investment in of time and money. So as long as you're going out there with 100% effort and a great attitude all the time, I'm not too worried about the other stuff. If they're going to go out and make mistakes, that's fine.
Right.
That's going to come with those repetitions like Ronnie was talking about. For your case, if someone's paying extra for private lessons, then you probably want to be pushing them pretty hard because they've made that choice to to put in that extra time.
Right.
And the
You know,
parents
if
are
we-
paying money too.
Yeah, if you're in a recreational, lower level type thing, you know, I'm not going to be hard on our house kids. You know, I want them smiling. You know what I mean? Same with our travel kids. We want them smiling, but there's a little added pressure. You know,
For sure.
They've invested this time, this money, this sacrifice from other things. So, you know, they're expected to get out there and put that effort and attitude all the time, and they'll get results if they're putting that in.
Right.
A lot of times those results don't come because they lack in one of those two things, is my opinion.
For sure.
You know, I'm not
The
looking for...
controllables. The controllables.
Yeah,
You
those
can
are the things
control.
that you can control. That's
Yeah.
it. You know, you can't control how the ref's going to do, or if your coach is good, or if the place is too cold, or whatever those things are. But you can control your effort and your attitude.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And I also think, the age comes in factor, right? Like inconsistency, you're 10 years old, you're going to have those inconsistent days, right? Like you might have a great player, then all of a sudden 2-3 games you don't see that player. It's just because they're 10 years old. Let them be a 10-year-old kid. Let them have fun, make mistakes. I think if you continue to support your kid and guide them, I think the end result, which we find out right now, I mean, we coached 12U this year. We start to see changes. Some kids reach puberty at that level, and then all of a sudden 14, 15. You want to keep it fun, so they keep playing at 15 and 16 too, right? And so you have to know your boundaries as well when you're doing private lessons as well, what the kid can do, what he can't do, what he need to work on. I mean, I think education of parents and being honest.
I feel like
I
that's
had a great friend that like kind of summed it all up in one curve, right? We all start hockey at this level, and then you climb the level, and everybody goes at different levels, but you all end up back at beer league.
Absolutely.
And if you still have kids playing beer league,
you did your
that you
job.
coached,
Yeah.
and they love the game, then hey, that's beautiful.
100%.
But there's going to be kids that climb that ladder. But at the end of the day, we all.
I played beer league.
Yeah.
I played the other
I
night.
played beer league. Yeah.
I broke my stick.
We've all climbed that ladder. We've all been at
tough budget.
It's the first stick I ever bought. Yeah.
but we've all climbed that ladder to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
And then eventually if you love the game, you play, you're going to play in beer league.
Yeah.
And you're
Player,
gonna play-
coach, or whatever you do,
Yeah,
right? If you still
coaching's
love it.
great.
Get involved.
Great asset, yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to grow the game. But, yeah, you all end up in the same area. Even the NHL guys, they're going to be beer league players or
And they're
alumni
coaching.
players,
So
right?
true. Yeah.
They get involved in coaching every once in a while, but some do, some don't. But that's where the passion of the game comes from.
Yeah.
And teaching those kids to stick with it and go through the grind, climb the levels.
Life's not fair sometimes. That's what we try to teach, right? We try to be honest, and I think nowadays it's a little bit tougher, but all those kids that stay with it, all those guys that grind it out, adversity,
Yep.
that's the big thing, right? In
Yep.
life and in hockey, all sports. But I think we're all really good at teaching adversity, you
Yep.
know. And I always tell parents, hey, just give me 4 to 8 hours, give me 24 hours or whatever. Then after a week goes by, they're fine again because they learn their lesson. Then the next game you win, and they always say you're only as good as your last game. Well, that makes your attitude or your effort or your like the way you feel. Like if you win on a Friday, you're feeling good all day Friday.
Yep.
Whereas the team that loses and they played like crap, they have
Yeah,
a rough
Friday's a
Friday.
nightmare.
Yeah, Friday's a nightmare. And we,
It's
we
fair.
went through it.
Ice time's fair, not even.
Yeah.
And then you want the best out of each kid
Yeah.
every day.
Exactly.
And every kid's different every day.
Right.
And that's how you coach them. You
Yeah.
coach them to be their best every day. And then you move on to the next day.
Yep.
Yep.
So when did you guys decide? When did you guys know it was done? Like when your career was over, you just felt like it was time to pack it in. When did you guys? When did that happen? When did you guys know? Okay, I'm done playing pro. It's time to hang it up.
I was playing, it was my last season. We were playing in the playoffs, and I noticed about half the guys in the training room didn't want to go out and play for some of the playoff games. And I was out there blocking shots and doing this and that and playing hurt like we all do.
Yeah.
And I had a handful of guys that weren't willing to do that, and I was just like, I'm not getting paid enough to continue doing this. I got to get on with my life. So that was my deal. So
Donnie?
Myself, I couldn't move my
When you
shoulders.
stopped dyeing your hair, when you stopped dyeing, that's when I knew Donnie was done.
Johnny,
He
when-
always
How
used to
about
put
this?
the highlights in his hair, and
Here we
one day
go.
he just came to the
How about
ring,
this? Oh,
and he
we
had
got a
his-
story now.
Here
We
we
got
go,
a
here we
story
go.
now.
He had his natural hair, and I was like,
Johnny,
oh
what-
man, he's done. This guy is washed
Listen,
up.
here's a funny story.
So back in the UHL days, you didn't have to wear a helmet out for warm-ups.
I remember that.
And Donnie used to do his hair in front of the mirror.
Oh yeah.
But so he'd do his hair up and all that.
Did he have the blow
girls-
dryer like
girls
Keanu
love it.
Reeves
Girls
and
love
Young
See,
Blood?
Johnny, yeah, he knows.
He had the highlights and everything. And
That's when it was in.
you know what? It was
of
impressive.
crossovers?
I'm going to say it's impressive because I'm not going to throw a dart here. You know, the one year I played with Donnie in Rockford, he had 20 goals, 30 majors, or 37 majors. He led the
37.
league in majors.
All of them at home though.
Oh, yeah.
High sticking majors, probably, right?
Oh, he loved
50 fights,
Hitting
49
from behind.
50 fights, 49
He
at home.
always, hey, every fight he went into, his highlights were just perfect. He looked great.
Yeah.
Loved
did
watching
you,
him fight.
John, did you hear that? Every
I had a
pro
front row-
fight. Every
I had a
pro
front
fight
row
I went
seat
into.
to every fight he had,
Oh, yeah.
and it was like, man, your highlights look great.
Supercuts. It was good.
Sorry, Donnie. Had to
No,
throw
but
that.
when-
Had to throw that in there. You know.
No, I just played a long time, and I took the time to take my paramedics, and I always love helping people, and 13 years in the minors was enough for me. And my last year we lost in Game 7. I was in Port Huron when you had knee surgery.
Yep.
And we had a good little team there. I thought we were going to win it. We're up 3-1 and end up losing to the Fort Wayne Comets and Game 7. But that was just a year where you just said to yourself, I'm just done playing. I didn't really enjoy. I loved to play, but I really wanted to get on with my career, just like Eric said. And we're both in the profession where we get to help people, and we get to hang out with 6 guys every 4 days, and that's the best thing about our job right now is we get to hang out with a crew of 6, and we do the same thing as we do in the hockey room.
Really appreciate what you guys do.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome what you guys went into. Can't thank you guys enough. First responders and all that.
For sure.
Taking on what you guys have to take on. Not easy.
Ronnie, what was it with you? When did you decide?
So mine came when we had our daughter. It was I had full support, whatever I wanted to do, but that was it.
That was it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey, we need to call up Austin Sutter here. for
Yeah,
a little
let's-
bit. Let's get Austin
I
up
got
here.
hey,
We'll
right
get
here.
him up.
I know, Ronnie, we got
Hey,
practice in the morning.
Let's go,
so-
Sudsy. Bring it on up. We have Austin Sutter up on the board with us. Holy smokes, Austin Sutter. And he put a hat on.
Ugliest guy in the league. Hottest wife, though.
Johnny made him buy that hat too. His first hat, Chirp hockey hat.
Yeah, how come you had to
It looks
Venmo?
good.
You had to Venmo him right
Actually,
before
I
you got
think
on.
Baron Brecken stole a hat from you in the last tournament we
Oh,
played
probably.
in. Yeah.
Little rat. That's
And
not
then I
walking
sent
around
you a
with that.
Venmo.
It'd be $28.99. You can Venmo me after this.
Oh, this coffee's pretty good.
How about that beard, though?
Hey, man, it's like Samson from the Bible. You grow it, the stronger you get, the longer it gets, the stronger you get. That's how it works.
Well, we were talking about, the ice ranch and what you guys are doing, and you're a huge part in the ice ranch. And so, give us a little rundown. What's going on? I know Eric, said a lot, but like I said, you're a huge part. So give us a little rundown.
Yeah, I know.
Eric said a lot.
Yeah, well, what's your role in it?
No, I was
What are you going to do, Austin?
Oh, man.
I know you got a big role. You wear a lot of hats. Obviously, that's your first
Yeah,
hat today.
like at the end of the day, we're an awesome team, right? Like Eric and Jason Chafe and I, and we put this thing together, and it's about the kids, and it's about providing opportunities, and that's what we do. I mean, and we got to the point where we needed our own facility, we needed our own place to play year round. We made fun of the MCM Mall here in Odessa, but what a great opportunity for you guys, though. Like, you have year-round ice, and honestly, sitting in Amarillo for 10 years, we're jealous of the MCM ice. Like, we were literally looking at shopping malls to put a hockey rink in, and we figured this one out. We put a deal together, and we worked with the city, and we have an awesome mayor. We have an awesome leadership in our city, and they understood that this is something we needed.
And our community.
Yeah.
You guys would be amazed. The community people
100%.
have stepped up. It's unbelievable.
Eric, like, it's been unbelievable how many different businesses and you name it, just stepping up and making this happen, because it's something that needed to be done, and it's an awesome opportunity, and I can't wait. Like Derek Hahn, one of the best players in the Central Hockey League, right? Like MVP, leading scorer, went to the DEL in Germany, won championships, captain of the team there. He, like, when we got this deal done, when Eric and I got this deal done, like, he came up, we went golfing on Canada Day.
So he's still in Amarillo?
He's still in Amarillo,
Derek Hahn,
like one of the best players ever in the Central Hockey League history, right? Like him and Sebastian Thinall, I think, but we get into that in a minute. But Hunter grabbed Eric and I, we went golfing with him in Angel Fire in New Mexico, and we're up at Schaefer's cabin, and he's like, Suts, like, we're going to have an NHL player from Amarillo in the next 10 years. And that, like, I sat back, and we were all having some fun that day and having a good time, celebrating Canada Day. And as I sat back, and I was like, dude, like, Hunter, you're right, man. Like, we are. And and that's what gives me chills. Like, it's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Can you tell me how you kind of got to Amarillo? I mean, I looked at your stats. Never really knew who you were until I obviously played against you a little bit. But 2006.
Did you guys play against each other?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I played. I mean, I definitely played against him. He was wearing the jersey against us. But
I just thought you were way older. So
Sutsy was man of the year one year.
Yeah.
Sutsy was the man of the year.
I don't know how that ended up happening.
Yeah, he's got a banner up in the Civic Center.
They tore it down, but
Sutsy's 10 years younger than me. He can't tell, but he is 10 years younger than me. How did you come over from Canada? You started in Shreveport. Give us the process. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people that, know who you are, but at the same time, all these new people that are coming into youth hockey. Tell us how you got to Amarillo. Tell us your path to the United States. And
did you play in the BCHL?
Yes.
BCHL.
Yeah, BCHL.
British Columbia. Yeah, no, it's like all of us. Like, and Coach Eric and I, we tell the players all the time, like, the path chooses you. You don't choose the path. Hockey's so beautiful that way. Like, it chooses you, and like you spin the globe, and you put your finger on it, and like literally you can end up there through the game, and that's what I love about hockey, right? Like, so no, I grew up in Red Deer, Alberta. I played with some of the best players in the world growing up, all the way through. I went to BCHL. Powell River, it's a peninsula in British Columbia, right across from the Vancouver Island. Huge hockey history there. A bunch of good NHLers, bunch of good players came from there. Ended up getting an opportunity and went and played there for 2 years. Absolutely loved it. For whatever reason, I got full offer for Division I college at Minnesota State, which is now one of the best schools in the whole nation. And my first few years at Minnesota State, we had some of the best players in the country, and we were playing against the best players in the country. Like, literally, we had Phil Kessel was in Minnesota. We had Joe Pavelski was in Wisconsin. We had Paul Stastny playing in Denver, and that was our league. Like, and at the time, we didn't know these guys. Like, I'm taking a face-off against Paul Stastny, and I had no clue who this guy was. Right? I knew his dad, but it ended up leading into this whole path of coming down to Texas, like you guys have been talking about, and living a great life. I mean, we've had an awesome life through hockey, right? Like, and the path chooses you, and that's kind of how it is, right? And you enjoy it, and you trust the process, and you live out your life to the fullest. So.
And what was it that made you stay in Amarillo? I know I asked Eric the same thing, so it's probably close to what he said, but What was it that kept you there?
So I went to Shreveport, right? So I played at Minnesota State, and to go back to the first question.
I saw it three
Three
games. You had a 3-game tryout, no points, no shifts.
Like what a bush league. Like I had a goal and 2 assists in my first 3 games. It says I had airbags on the stats, right? Like airbags all the way across.
They don't count exhibition games.
No.
Listen, we're talking about 3 games played.
Actually,
okay?
you want to know a good story? Here's a good story. So my first ever pro hockey game, not exhibition, pro hockey game, we were playing Laredo. And the year before I played, it's 2005, Laredo and Shreveport played in the Central Hockey League Championship. And it was a war, like absolutely. Like Jeff Bess, those guys.
Besser,
it was an absolute war. Like Muskie was our coach, and Wildfong was on my line. Like I played with that guy's a legend, right?
Right.
Danny Wildfong.
I love Wildfong.
And Sidney Crosby's cousin was on our line too. Forbes McPherson. Forbes. So it's me, Fonger, and Forbesy.
A lot of name dropping going on.
Yeah,
there.
no, like
I like
seriously.
I like it.
I got a bunch of it.
Can you take it easy on the fingers? I mean, we're picking up on this audio. I know it's your first show.
Johnny's turning it down because I just talked too loud. That's just how it goes. I don't have a smooth, sexy
He's
voice
animated.
like you.
It's
Like,
okay.
it's
He's
how it
animated.
goes, right? It's how it goes. So I'm playing with Fonger and Forbes McPherson on this line, right? My first Central Hockey League, Pro Hockey League game, we played the Laredo Bucks. They played the year before in Game 7. Shreveport won the whole thing, right? And it was a war, like bench clearing brawl. Everyone's going at it. Like we're throwing. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, right? Like, and I've been in a couple of fights, right? Like. And if I'll fight dirty, but if I fight dirty. But I've been in a couple of fights, but not too many, right? And it was an absolute brawl. And I'm like, this is pro hockey. Like, I called my dad after the game. I'm like, well, Dad, like this is pro hockey, right? Like, and it was awesome. It was awesome, right? So Shreveport, great place, great people. I'm still friends to this day with a lot of those guys, and like we all are. We all have this like community in southern United States, pro hockey, that we're all together, and it was the start of it, and I fell in love with it.
So did you actually unpack your suitcase? You played 3 games, it says. No, I'm just wondering how you got to Amarillo. Like it says
you dodged our question about how you ended up in Amarillo.
So my best friend that I grew up with, and I'm gonna drop some more names, man.
That's okay.
That's okay. I was just
so the Vandermeer boys, right?
Oh yeah,
the Vandermeers, they're famous.
It's a bunch of tough cookies, right there.
Oh yeah, and
Ryan Vandermeer is Ryan.
No, like Pete and Jimmy and absolute beauties. Like we play together, and I went to Shreveport, and Billy, the second youngest of the 6 brothers, played in Amarillo. And he called me. He goes, Shreveport's awesome. Like you guys got a winning team. It's great. And I said, I love it here. Like, I love Shreveport. I love playing with Danny Wildfong. He took me under his wing. He's awesome. And he goes, you got to come to Amarillo. Like, we need you. We want you on the team. So that's how it kind of transpired. Like, I don't even know. And the next day it was like Scott Musket.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Scotty
the GM
Musket.
now of the junior team. He was our coach. He's like, Suts. He's like, Billy wants you there. And we had Jim Wiley was our coach. He used to coach. He played for the Vancouver Canucks. He coached for San Jose Sharks. And Jim Wiley was like, hey, come on. If the Vandermeers say you're good, we're going to take you, you know? And I ended up showing up and
24 goals the first year.
Yeah.
I seen that. 24
0-3 in the first game. I actually had a goal and 2 assists, but they didn't count it. Like whatever. I don't know what's going on, but
again,
it was an exhibition.
Practice.
It was a joke. It was a joke. I was pissed. Yeah. So I get to Amarillo and all of a sudden it was like we had a guy that got injured, and so we have a rodeo in Amarillo. It's the biggest rodeo in America. Okay. And it's a ranch rodeo. So they literally they're milking cows and doing all this weird stuff. Okay. So we get there, they have this ranch, like literally they have this ranch rodeo, right?
That's true, Eric.
It's the WRCA, isn't it?
Yes, WRCA. Yeah. It's the biggest ranch.
I don't know about
rodeo.
the cow milking, but yeah.
Oh, that's the big event is. They milk the cows, see how much milk they can get. It's crazy. So it's a sellout for 7 days. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
So I get to Amarillo, Texas, and I fly in. Shreveport was good. Muskie took care of me. He's like, we're gonna fly in. We're gonna give you rights over there. They didn't get nothing for me. And
Bag of pucks.
nothing.
Bag of
Like
pucks?
literally
Anything?
not even a bag of pucks. Like, and it was just I was going to play with my buddy, right? So I show up and it's the most beautiful sunset I ever seen. I get picked up at the airport. It's West Texas is not pretty, boys. Like,
But people are nice.
like I grew up in Alberta, like a beautiful, like Banff and Jasper, and like it's so beautiful. But it's beautiful in its own way, and the sunsets are amazing. I came in on the most beautiful sunset, and Billy picks me up. Vandy he picks me up, and he goes, "Wow, this was Thanksgiving. It's November," and he's like, "Let's see how this goes." You know, I show up, and you're right, like. 20 games in, we're scoring, we're winning, we're 8-0. Like, it was awesome, and never looked back. And it's been the best community, the best people, there's so many different things. It's a lot like Western Canada. I know you're from Ontario. I know Eric's from Manitoba and Minnesota, you know, but Western Canada is so much like West Texas.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah, like the wind and the oil and the cattle and the mentality, the spirit of the people are just hardworking people, and that's really what sucked me right in, you know. And I'm never gonna leave. This is my home. I love it here.
Well, what's really cool is like you guys were, and I kind of think about this for myself. Like anyone could, for you guys, like again, getting the ice ranch and building a new facility. Like you think about the people. All the pro hockey players who came through Amarillo who could have stuck around and did what you guys did, but it just so happened to be you guys. And now you guys have made another career and you're kind of turning the chapter, you know what I mean, so to speak, and you're kind of laying out this groundwork for another chapter of your life to begin with the ice ranch. And now you guys are giving back and you guys are making opportunities for other youth hockey players and for more youth hockey to kind of you know, develop in Amarillo, which I think is amazing. And so it's just cool to me to see, like, just like you said, you know, you spin the map and you put your finger on it and
It's a globe, Johnny. It's not a map.
Oh, you
It's
spin the globe.
A map's a piece of paper.
I had a map in my
Okay,
car.
We're talking about a globe.
He's like a flat world conspiracist right here.
there is no round
We're
edges.
spinning the map.
You're right,
A
Johnny.
map's a piece
Do,
of-
do you?
We're flipping
you
the
still
map.
You still have a map in your car?
No, I used to when I was driving around. Then I got a cell phone, but I'm a lot older than you. You guys grew up with cell phones, so I didn't even have a cell phone my
didn't.
first couple years of pro.
I got a cell phone when I was 17 years old.
Really?
17.
I didn't have one until I was 21, and I'm way younger than you guys.
It
Like,
was
that's-
used.
Yeah,
Not
it
a
was-
pager.
That was
Back in the day, that
Pager.
your pager would go off at high school, and then you're like 12th grade, it'd be like, "Nee, call me." Oh, 905.
Did you really have a pager?
I did.
Really?
Well,
yeah, you're a pager
sorry.
guy. Frosted
I-
tips.
Yeah.
Was it one of those like
Oh,
colorful
frosted
pagers where you
tips.
could see like
No,
all the wires?
I'm
and
Did you
stuff?
have it in
telling
your fanny pack?
My fanny pack. Actually, I did wear it.
So Donnie, do you remember this? So back to my rookie year in Shreveport.
Hey, he
The
really likes banging
Odessa,
the table,
the
doesn't he?
Odessa Jackalopes. So this was before the Laredo Brawl that I was talking about. My first ever pro game.
This is your first game.
The exhibition
Played three.
games we played against you. And you guys come into town and Muskie's in the room. He's like, these guys aren't very skilled. We're way better. Like, but I want to see what you guys got. Like we got to cut a few guys, whatever. And I'm all nervous. I'm like, Odessa. I'm like, so my grandpa's from Odessa, Ukraine. He's from, like, Google it, Odessa, Ukraine,
No,
right?
I've heard of it.
Yep. And I'm like, well, my grandpa's from Odessa. I'm like, this team can't. Like, that's how dumb I was, right? Like, and naive, being from Canada.
Kind of like math.
I'm
Johnny,
like, it's
you know?
Odessa, Ukraine, is it down? It's the Odessa Jackalopes. And we got into a shootout. You probably don't even remember this. And I've never told you. We've
Of
known
course
each
he
other
doesn't
a long
remember.
time.
It
I
was
score?
a shootout. It
No,
was a
so we
shootout.
got in a shootout.
You got to shoot this.
And
year.
you
did,
scored.
no.
Yes, you
I
did.
did. I
You
did score. I
scored.
remember that one.
And you took your helmet off coming by both benches. And all I can remember, because I'm way younger than you old guys, the frosted tips. The frosted tips. And I'm like, all these guys on my team, they're all from Toronto, Ontario, or you're from, they all have their frosted tips. And I'm like, dude, like that's like,
Why did he take his
in
helmet
Western
off?
Canada, you get your ass kicked for having frosted
Why did he
tips.
take his helmet off?
Because he's
I don't know, because he's Donnie Margetti. Like
Yeah.
he comes
Probably
down
right.
and the whole bench was like, you scored and all the guys had respect for you. at the time.
I think it was I was at the,
that's
like the 12
Fogger
shooter.
and Dan we had so many guys like Quaid. You
must
remember
be
him?
at the end of your
Quaid
career
Quaid
there,
Lightfoot,
Donnie.
like all those guys, Lightbody.
No,
like
but
those
I think
guys
I was a
loved
12
you.
shooter.
Yeah, it probably was.
Okay, Mark, you're up.
But literally, you scored and like we lost an exhibition, and I'll never forget you coming down with your frosted tips after that goal. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Like he scored and took his helmet off as like some kind of celebration.
Yeah, no, he's just and he came by the bench, typical Donnie with the I can't swear on the pod because it's Disney atmosphere, but he had the poop eating grin on his face, just smiling, you know. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, must be from Toronto.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're close, about an hour away.
Aren't you
Yeah,
from where
it's-
that big waterfall is?
Yeah, exactly.
Niagara
Same
Falls.
thing.
Falls.
Yeah.
It's
It's not the Western Canadian way, but it's all good.
We went to Niagara Falls a couple years back, and we were in the U.S. side, and then we went to the Canadian side, and we hung out and went to a couple places, and just the people who were coming out, I'm like, this is definitely where Donnie Margetti is from. This is exactly where he's from.
The only reason why Johnny could afford the trip is the exchange rate at that time was like 38 cents on a dollar. Kenzie, you want to go? Oh, yeah, 38 cents.
You're talking about
ass.
me. You are the cheapest person I know.
Every time I see you, you squeak through the door. Hey, we're doing a
Hey.
podcast tonight.
we were in Dallas.
Squeaking.
We were in Dallas not too long ago, and we get to this place. I said, Margot's like, hey, where do you want to eat? I was like, well, actually, me and Kinsey went to this place not too long ago. They got anything you want. They have their own brewery. They have burgers. They have Chinese, whatever you want. He's like, all right, let's go there. So we take the kids over there, and we were walking in, and Margot goes, it's like,
Oh, alligator arms?
man, I forgot my wallet.
I actually did.
Raptor.
I forgot my wallet.
I actually did forget that night.
And I'm like, okay, and I didn't even say anything. And then we get into this line, and I was like, let's go to this burger joint. So all the kids order burgers, and I order a burger. And Margot's like, oh, remember, I don't have my wallet. And I
So
was
he
like,
ordered a T-bone.
I said, Margot, I got
With
this.
shrimp.
I got this one. It's on me. It's on me. He
Lobster.
goes. So he leaves us in the line, and he goes and gets sushi across the way. He goes, okay, you got this one. Okay, I'm gonna go get sushi. And he goes and gets the sushi line and picks the biggest.
Johnny
roll.
sent me a bill 2 weeks later. Said in the mail, don't forget, you owe me $34.99. I paid it too.
Alligator arms. No, but no. Back to all that stuff. I mean, I'm really excited for the ice ranch and what you guys are doing, and I think that's going to be awesome. And I'm excited for us to go down there because I mean, you guys have dedicated quite a bit of time to come to Odessa, bring all your kids, and bring a group of hockey players and come down here and play, and even practice like this weekend, coming and practicing. And I think I'm really excited to go down there and. Get on the ice.
Well,
ranch.
and I know myself, and I could probably speak for a lot of people, we're very grateful for you guys having us down here a lot this year. COVID's been, I hate to use that COVID word.
Yeah.
But it's screwed up a lot of things in our world, you know what I mean? With rinks closing and different things. So we had the ability to come down here and skate, and I'm super grateful for that for our kids.
We got a good relationship, and I mean, it's only going to grow.
It's the best. Like, it's the best. Like, it went from a hatred in pro hockey, right? A rivalry to like an absolute family and brotherhood, and the kids feed off that now, and the parents, and it's a really special thing that I can't even describe on this mic. Like, it's so special, and you guys have done an unbelievable job.
Well,
down
talking
here.
about special, I mean, tonight was pretty awesome, right? We
Yeah.
talked about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We talked about it last episode about our well, maybe the
Well, that's a great example, Johnny, watching that tonight and watching that kid or that group of kids, that championship, and how well they get along and they bond together.
well, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, like, so we won a championship, and me and Sudsy were assistant coach on the assistant.
Johnny,
coaches.
were you on the roster?
I think I was. They put me on there.
At the start of the year, John's like, "Hey, put me on every team's roster. I want to hang out with everybody." So one team was a championship. He's got a good percentage.
It worked out. It worked out.
You got to play the odds, Johnny.
But so
You're good. You're good.
So the Jacks at the North American Hockey League game, they brought our whole team out. They announced our coaches, and in the middle of it, like, I looked to Sudsy and I'm like, man, like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was a good crowd.
Oh, it was a great crowd. But
was there a
Good
band
job,
there
Rick
tonight?
Matchett.
Was that a high school band?
high school.
Oh yeah,
Like the
OHS.
And
marching
the
band?
cheerleaders,
Yeah.
Odessa High, right?
I don't
Yes.
think the OHS cheerleaders, they don't put their cheerleaders on a diet, I don't think.
Oh, we can't be going there, Johnny.
What? I don't know anyone on OHS.
What were you? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
what school did
you
you
were
go
a homeschool boy. Let's go, Johnny. You were the cheerleader. You're the.
I was
I
talking
got a
about the
cheer
marching
team in
band.
homeschool.
Johnny was everything. The cheerleader. He was the only tennis star in his school.
He's doing backflips on his on his figure skates.
That's
yeah,
exactly
it's
it.
unbelievable.
Well, I don't know anyone in OHS. They can get mad at me all they want. I'm just saying some of their. I was worried about they put this platform up for the cheerleaders, and I was looking at it structurally, like what's
Oh, okay.
what's
okay.
going on.
I didn't know what you were talking about. I understand now.
There's a lot of thumping going on in that thing. They didn't have much rhythm,
Holy smokes!
kind of like you.
Oh, gee. I got some rhythm. I got rhythm.
Well, hey, I just want.
This was a great podcast.
This is a good show. We want to thank you guys. For
Unbelievable
coming
show.
out.
Yeah, shout out to Ronnie Vogel. I know
Yeah,
he had
Vogel's awesome. Hey,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he's good.
Ronnie's
awesome.
I love that guy.
that was awesome. That was awesome. So Eric Andersen, Ronnie Vogel, Austin Sutter, we've had it all tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, download, whatever you got to do. It keeps us going on this podcast. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. It'll be up there, and we really appreciate it. So this is episode 3 of the Chirp Hockey Podcast. Thanks again to Ronnie Vogel, Austin Sutter, and Eric Andersen. We'll see you next time.